Dreams. We all dream. In fact, it's probably quite sad if the only time we dream is when we're asleep. I'm sure some of the most awake people in the world in our services are people who dream all the time. In 1906 in Russia, a tremendous explosion happened in the sky. It happened at an area called Tunguska, and it was the largest impact event in the history of humanity. We're not quite sure what that explosion was. Scientists say it may have been a meteorite or an asteroid hitting the Earth or a black hole going through the Earth or antimatter. We're just not sure. We are pretty sure it was 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped at Hiroshima at the end of the Second World War. 80 million trees were knocked down by this explosion. The night sky over Europe was lit up with a strange, unearthly light. And it's said that the sound of the explosion could be heard as far as London. A dynamic, powerful force hit the Earth on that day in June 1906. Some tremendous thing from outside our own world somehow impacted it, contacted it. At some point, energy came together with a massive impact. And we don't know exactly what it was. But energy is everywhere. It's in this room, it's in our services, and it's also in us. And I think there's an important question about the energies that lie dormant everywhere, especially the energies and potencies that lie within all of us. We all have amazing gifts. And I think the real challenge is how we see, own, and release those gifts. If we don't see them, we can't own them. If we don't own them, we can't release them. If they're not released, then our services cannot be transformed. And I think this is the way not to do it. I think often we start outside ourselves. We think, oh, we'll go here, we'll bring this in, or we'll do that. I don't think the answer is fundamentally external. These gifts and energies lie within us. And therefore the answer in some ways has to be internal. I do think the answer lies in this. It's not addition, but nutrition. It's about growing what we already have. It's about becoming who and what we are actually already, but often we don't see. And I think the word for that process is transformation. The real challenge is how we open our heart and our hands to release these gifts and energies. Because when we do, amazing things happen. And as I've used the word transformation, I really believe that this is transformational work. And when this happens, something else happens. We often use the word transformation in many forms, and the transformation I'm trying to describe is that caterpillar to butterfly process. A change which is both deep and good. And I think what I've seen in my own sort of career and work is that it's transformed people who transform services. And when they do, this is what we get. We get the magic. It doesn't take away the stress and the pain, but it really is the ingredients of how we create best culture and best care for everyone, for carers, for patients, and for staff. We all have tremendous potential. Studies tell us that we probably only use 30% of the potential that we actually have. What would happen? Can we even dream what would happen if we were to use the other 70% of potential that we have but don't use? I think one of the reasons why we sometimes don't use that potential is this. We often do our work at a surface level. We change a policy, we change a structure, we have an event, and that's great and it can work. But the real answers lie somewhere else. The real transformative answers lie somewhere else. And that's here. It's in the deep, it's in the depths. If we want to contact those energies and life and those potencies, we have to dive deep, we have to go down deep. And that sometimes is quite challenging work for us, and it's actually, paradoxically, both easy and difficult. The NHS was established nearly 67 years ago, and it was the product of dreams and action. When it was established, there was a great deal of opposition. People said, this will not work. They said, this is impossible. Impossible was the word used. Well, you know, sometimes when we believe the impossible, we can do the incredible. And that's what the NHS and other services do. They do that across our city, they do that across our country. And they do the incredible every day. And it's a great sign of the power of kindness, the power of commitment, the power of days like today where people can come together to discover their potency. So it's really important that we continue to dream. It's really important that we continue to build those ladders to the stars and the clouds. Because that's where our future and the answers to our future actually lie. Our services have entered into a winter period. Morecambe Bay, Winterbourne View, Mid Staffordshire, Rotherham. Awful signs of how a system can go wrong and end up hurting staff and patients. But there is another picture. There is another story. And that story is of new movements and energies working across our system, of which we thankfully and humbly are part. And these new systems offer a great promise. These new movements and networks and communities are signs of hope and renewal. They are the sign of a new spring for us. Thank you.